Hi guys, sorry it took so long to get back to you. Been quite a few things that have gone on that have been a little beyond my control. Had some problems with my ankle, bruise on my Achilles heel, could barely walk. Then when I tried to come out and film, I broke the arm cuff on the Ace 250, so I had to wait for a replacement. And then just when I thought I had it all figured out, I had problems with my phone, which I used to record the videos. So it's been just one obstacle after another. So I apologize up front for taking so long to get back to you guys. Appreciate the couple of subscribers that I've gotten from the first video. I know it wasn't very entertaining, and I apologize for that. But today we're going to talk a little bit about the basics of the Ace 250. These will apply also to the Ace 150 and the Ace 350, of course. Let's talk about the way you wrap your coil. You've got the wire coming up from your coil here. And what I've done is I've taken some Velcro straps, just like what you use for wrapping up the cords behind your TV or whatever. And you can just straighten that out. You don't have this wobble in front of the coil when you move back and forth during your searches. When you do that, you'll notice that the wire itself will set off the detector and give you some false readings. So just to avoid that from happening, you just need to kind of tie it up along this lower portion of the rod, nice and tight in some fashion or another. There's no, set way to do it. A lot of people like to run it all the way up to this joint straight up, but I don't like to have it too tight. I don't want to wear out that part right there where it comes out of the coil. So that would be one of the first things I would recommend, just so you're not getting any falses and causing yourself some frustration. Alright, another thing is, this is just something that I've come up with. I don't think I've ever seen anybody do this but myself. I know a lot of people use gear like little fanny packs and different type of metal detecting belts and such to hold their the fines and their shovel and their trowel or whatever, and their pointer as well. If you buy a Garrett pointer, okay, this would probably be the one I would recommend. It's probably the best on the market, with the exception of maybe one other, the Mind Lab. It's pretty good too, I've heard, but a little more expensive. This one is pretty durable. I mean, I've dropped it a few times from probably 5 or 6 feet on the concrete, and I haven't broken it. But the thing I like to do is mount it up here so I have access to it real easy, and I don't have to have anything on my belt. I just don't like being weighed down when I'm crouching a lot. So that's just a little tip maybe that you could use. This little pouch comes with it, so you can just slide it around it. It's got a little snap on it and Velcro, and just snap it and then tighten it up. And it's real handy because it's just right there every time you're getting down to find your target. Alright. Another thing, which is just a little bit of a precautionary tale. The Garrett's arm cuff, they aren't made very well. I think it's something of a oversight on their part. The material they use is plenty hard enough. It's just that the thickness of where they tend to break is very thin right there at the cuff, and that goes it's under a lot of stress all the time from you working your arm back and forth, and eventually those things will break. I had mine kind of crack about 1/4 of an inch, and it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. The good thing is, Garrett's real good about replacing them, but that could mean you're out of detecting for a couple, 3-4 days, however long it takes for them to send you one. They did send me one for free, which was awesome. No questions asked or anything, which it's great customer service. But I don't know, the quality of the cuff could use some improvement. Maybe they intend to do a better mold of it at some point in the future. I don't know. Certainly something they're aware of. But because they're sending these things out for free, so obviously there's a little bit of a problem with it. But it's just something you might take into account when you're waving your your cuff around. Try to be gentle with it. Don't put any extra strain on it than you have to. Alright. Just here in the park, I wanted to give you an idea of what it is I'm going to be digging at today. This nice little park got 4 soccer fields on it. Pretty nice size. Lots of places where people will park their little rear ends. Over there, there's stands, picnic table, and this nice big parking lot. Like, parking lot? Why parking lot? Well, it's gravel, and people get turned off by that because it's hard to dig. But if you're meticulous and you want to get everything there is to find, that's a great location to try to find things. These gravel parking lots, man, I found so much great stuff in this parking lot and others like it. You just need to get yourself something that you can really get down into the gravel with. I like to use a chisel and a hammer, and then chisel down about 4 or 5 inches and just pull it over to the side, and I can really get into the ground that way. But I probably found, oh man, I don't know, maybe about $9 worth of coins in these lots like this just in the last 3 weeks or so. So don't ignore the lot just because it's gravel. I know it's a little harder on your knees. Get a pad. You know, they come with those little gardening pads. You can use those or use knee pads, and it's not a problem. You can find ways to get the coins. Alright guys, since it's the first video, let's just start with the basics. You track your target, you know, you do your search, and you've come upon something. Now, I'm getting a reading of a quarter or something similar. Alright, and you just try to narrow down your target with your eyes. Watch where you're getting your tone, and then just stop and try to find the center point of where it's beeping. Okay, that's the first thing. And then once you do that, since I think that the target is basically right where the coil is now, I'm going to bring my coil over about 6 inches, press the pinpointing button, center up my target where it's the strongest strength, and where I've got the strongest signal. I'm going to pull back my coil until you start to get a decline in the signal. And when that happens, I know from experience that the target is going to be just outside the inner coil, between the 2 coils basically, between the inner and outer coil, right at the tip. So I'm going to mark that. I can, but it's kind of difficult. I'm going to mark that right here, and then I'm going to get my pinpointer and see if indeed that's where the target actually is. Let me pause a moment and I'll come right back. Alright guys, I'm back. I just got the pointer out, and you can see I'm getting a little bit of a chirp there. There's definitely a target right within an inch or 2 of where I put my finger. And so now I'm going to dig that and see what we've got. Alright, I've just dug the hole. I haven't even bothered to look to see if I've gotten it out of the hole. But I'm not getting any signal with the pointer, so I'm assuming it's in the clump, and it is. Let's work that out and see what we got here. That's about as close to a live dig as you're going to get with a one-man team here. And there it is. Just got it out of the clump here. What's that like to you? Looks like to me a quarter. I have to get it cleaned up. I can't really see it. It's pretty muddy out, but it's not old. It is an estate quarter, at least, so I know it's no newer than 99, but I don't imagine it's so old. And anyway, that's basically how you do it. Alright. Hey guys, I'm going to talk about a second thing now. And what this is target sizing. Now, target sizing is basically just an extension of pinpointing. So what we want to do is do just what we did before. And I've already marked the target with the rock, okay? But we would find the target, center it up with the pinpointing. What you want to do is bring that 6 inches off the target or so, maybe a little more. Center it up. Once you centered it, bring it back. That's where your target is. Okay? And we'll mark that. So I've already done that for you. I marked it with the rock. And now, to take it a step further, I'm going to try to move the coil forward and see where the signal stops on the opposite end of the coil. And what that will do is tell me where the opposite edge of the target is. And since the coil essentially is in the same location when I go to the opposite edge of the target, see it dips off there? That's going to be the total diameter of my target. And so I know that whatever it is only about an inch or less in diameter. And that's going to be indicative of a coin and something that I want to dig. Now, however, let's say, for example, that the front edge of the target was here where the rock was, and then the back edge was, say, here where this rock is. That would be wide enough for me to be a little cautious or a little concerned about a crushed aluminum can smashed down, top down, or a can about that wide where it's flattened on the side. So the thing you have to remember is oftentimes aluminum will ring up as a coin, and that's one little way you can determine maybe you've got too big a target to be a coin. Now, you have to be careful, because with coin spills, you might have multiple targets, say one here, 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 all together, and that can fool you as well. But often your detector will react differently if that's the case. So that's just one little tip I can tell you to use if you're in a park and you know there's trash and you're looking for coins. Try to use your target sizing, and that will help you pinpoint things that are, you know, only an inch in diameter or so and much larger potential for a coin. Hey guys, I just did another dig. That's the hole. I'm just about to cover it in. That's what I found. You're like, oh, a penny. So why are you telling us about a penny? Well, this will ring up as a dime on your Garrett Ace 250, 150 possibly. And the reason why is because this penny is older than 1982. Anything older than 1982 was 95% copper, so the copper signal is more conductive and therefore it rings up more like a dime. And your Zinkins will ring up as pennies. What I mean by Zinkins is the coins that were minted after 1982 and newer. They changed the composition of them to be 95% zinc or 97.5% zinc, and so their conductivity is a little bit lower, and so they'll ring up as the penny, and the older copper pennies will ring up as dimes. So just so you know, don't think that it's telling you something that shouldn't be. It's right. Dimes can be pennies.